Are you really going to just throw away your career over a baby? Mr. Harris sneered, his cold gaze piercing through me as I stood trembling in his office. In that moment, I felt my dreams crashing down, but little did he know I was just getting started. Hi there, my name is Emily and I'm excited to share my story with you. I'm 28 years old and I live in a small town filled with creative energy. I've just launched my very own business with an incredible team that means the world to me. Being a part of this journey has taught me so much about resilience, trust, and turning challenges into opportunities. I can't wait to dive into my experiences and share the ups and downs of my adventure. Thanks for joining me. I took a deep breath as I walked up to Mr. Harris' office. I had rehearsed this moment over and over in my head. Today was the day I would tell him the news. My stomach churned with nerves. What would he say? Would he be angry? I knocked on the door. Mr. Harris, can I come in? Yeah, sure, Emily, he replied, sounding distracted. I stepped inside, forcing a smile. I have something important to share. He looked up from his computer. What is it? His tone was flat. I swallowed hard. I'm pregnant. Silence. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. He stared at me, his face expressionless. Oh, that was all he said? It felt like a punch in the gut. Are you happy for me? I asked, trying to fill the empty space. Happy? Look, Emily, you know this isn't the best time for you to be starting a family, he said, leaning back in his chair. It felt like he was shoving me back. I recoiled. What do you mean? I've worked hard here. I thought you'd support me. He chuckled, but it wasn't kind. Support you? Look, you have to consider your job security. I don't know how the others will react when they find out. It might, complicate things. A wave of fear washed over me. Complicate things? Are you saying I could lose my job? Just think about it. He waved his hand like it was nothing. People don't want to cover for you when you're on maternity leave. I can manage both, I said, trying to sound brave. My voice trembled. I felt betrayed, like he didn't care about me, just the work. He shrugged. It's just business, Emily. You should know that. I walked out of his office, my heart heavy. I felt small and scared. Betrayal mixed with anger bubbled inside me. I couldn't believe he would treat me this way. Once I was seated at my desk, I pulled out a notebook. I wanted to document everything. I'd write down every word he said, every feeling I felt. Emily, are you okay? Sarah, my coworker, asked. I forced a smile. Yeah, just busy. But I wasn't busy. I was hurting. How could Mr. Harris just dismiss my dreams like that? That evening, I sat down with Jake. He was my rock, always supportive and kind. He looked at me, concern in his eyes, as he poured a cup of tea. How did it go? I sighed heavily. It was awful, Jake. He didn't care about the baby. He just talked about my job. He made me feel like I didn't belong. Jake took a sip. What did he say? He said my job security could be at risk, like I'm not worth it anymore, I said, tears welling in my eyes. I feel so scared. Jake reached for my hand. Emily, that's not fair. You deserve support. You shouldn't have to feel this way. I thought he'd be happy for me, I whimpered. We'll get through this together, he said with determination in his eyes. I just want to document everything. I can't just let him push me around, I said, my heart racing. Good idea. Get everything down. Let's make it clear, Jake encouraged. I smiled faintly, feeling a little stronger, but deep down I still felt shaken. Would I really be able to keep my job? Would I have to fight for my dreams? I didn't know the answers, but I was determined to find them. The day finally arrived. My maternity leave started, but I felt anything but relaxed. I sat on the couch, staring at the baby clothes scattered around the room. My heart raced with anxiety. What if they didn't need me anymore? What if Mr. Harris was right? I picked up my phone and called Sarah. I needed to hear a friendly voice. "Hey, Emily, how are you doing?" Sarah answered cheerfully. "I'm okay, just nervous," I said, my voice shaking a little. "Totally understand. It's a big change," she replied. "But you've got this. The team is missing you, by the way." "Really? You think so?" I asked, my stomach doing a little flip. "Absolutely. We all want your help, even from afar." I felt a glimmer of hope. That's good to hear. I just, I hope Mr. Harris isn't making things hard for you all. He's been a bit not great," Sarah said, hesitating. "His decisions lately have been strange." I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. Strange. How so? "Well, he's been allocating projects poorly. It's causing confusion," Sarah said, her voice dropping a little. "Everyone's worried." "Worried? About what?" I pressed, alarmed. "He might be overloading some of us," she replied. "You know how he can be." I took a deep breath. That doesn't sound good at all. "Yeah, but we're managing. Just stay in touch, okay?" "I will," I promised, trying to sound more confident than I felt. I glanced at my laptop. Maybe I could still help them. The next morning, I sent a message to the team's group chat. "Hey everyone, I'm here if you need me. Just let me know how things are going." It wasn't long before responses flooded in. "Thanks, Emily. We really appreciate your guidance," said Mark. "Miss you," Sarah added. "Need your advice on a project," came another message from Lisa. I felt a rush of warmth inside. They still wanted me. As the days turned into weeks, I started mentoring them remotely. I joined video calls whenever I could. "Emily, what do you think about my proposal?" Mark asked one afternoon. "Let's break it down together," I replied, smiling. "What if we focused on the main clients first?" He nodded. "That's smart. Thanks." I could feel their trust growing. It was like I was building a bridge back to them, and I needed that connection. Then, one day, Sarah called me. "Emily, you won't believe this." "What happened?" I asked, my heart racing. "Mr. Harris made a huge mistake. He miscommunicated an important project deadline, and it's thrown everything off." "No way. What did you all do?" "We fixed it, but it was stressful. I wish you were in the office to help us," she said. I felt a mix of fear and anger. He's making it harder for everyone. Why isn't anyone saying anything? "Because, honestly, we don't want to upset him. He can be really hard to deal with," Sarah replied. I clenched my fists. "This is wrong. If you all need me, I can only help from here. But I'll keep supporting you." Days passed, and I watched Mr. Harris's choices create more chaos. I began documenting everything just like I promised myself. I knew my team was struggling, but they were still managing to pull through. They were resilient, and I was proud of them. I just hoped that together we could find a way to make things better before it was too late. Through it all, I was reminded that I wasn't just a mother now. I was still their leader, even from a distance, and I was determined to lift them up. Days turned into weeks, and I felt the weight of worry growing heavier. Mr. Harris's decisions were affecting our team more than I thought. Confusion seemed to hang in the air like fog. I noticed fewer smiles in our group chats and more frowning emojis. It tore at my heart. One evening, Sarah texted me, "Can we meet? Need to talk." "Of course. When?" I replied quickly, my stomach fluttering. "How about tomorrow at the park?" she suggested. "Perfect. I'll bring some snacks," I answered, eager to see her. The next day, I packed a small bag with cookies and juice. I needed to hear her thoughts to feel connected again. When I arrived at the park, Sarah was already there, her face tense. Hey, I greeted her with a smile, but she didn't return it fully. Hi, Emily, she said as we sat on a bench. Things are getting rough. My heart sank. My team is low on morale. People are feeling lost with Mr. Harris's changes. He's not communicating well, she explained, looking around nervously as if someone might hear. I nodded slowly. I know. I can feel it too through the messages. I don't know how much longer we can keep going like this, she admitted, her eyes glistening. Everyone is scared to speak up. I'm scared too, I confessed, but this isn't right. We deserve to work in a good environment. But what can we do? Sarah asked, frustration creeping in. I've been documenting everything. I want to make a plan, I said, my voice strong. If we team up, maybe we can make a change. Her eyes widened. You really think we can? I know we can, but we need to gather more support, I replied, feeling excited for the first time in weeks. That sounds risky, but I'm in. What's the plan? She asked eagerly. First, I want to contact Director Lewis. If we can get his perspective, it might help. He cares about the team, I said, feeling a rush of determination. Great idea. Sarah leaned in closer. Do you think he'll listen? I have to believe he will, I said firmly. We need someone in our corner. The next day, I gathered my notes and wrote a clear email to Director Lewis. Dear Director Lewis, I hope this message finds you well. I'd like to discuss some concerns regarding our team's morale and recent changes in management. My heart pounded as I clicked send. Sarah messaged me right away. Did you send it? Yes, I texted back, nervous anticipation filling me. Now we wait. Hours seemed like days. Finally, my phone buzzed. It was an email from Director Lewis. Emily, I'd like to meet to discuss your concerns. How does Thursday work for you? I couldn't believe it. I hit reply so fast my fingers almost slipped. Thank you. Thursday works perfectly. I called Sarah immediately. He wants to meet. This is our chance. No way. I'm so proud of you, she exclaimed. But it won't be easy, I said, suddenly feeling anxious again. Just stick to the facts. You have all the documentation, Sarah reminded me. I took a deep breath. You're right. I have to stay focused. For the team. That night, I lay in bed, my mind racing. I replayed the conversation and strategy I would use with Director Lewis. What if he didn't believe me? What if he didn't care? But then I thought about my team. I thought about Sarah. I couldn't let fear hold me back. I had to fight for the changes they needed. As I drifted off to sleep, I felt a flicker of hope. No matter what the outcome, I was ready to take a stand. I wouldn't let my team down, not now, not ever. With every passing day, my baby bump grew, but so did my motivation. I knew I needed to use this time wisely. I sat down at my kitchen table, surrounded by my notes and ideas. Okay, Emily, I thought, let's build a plan. I grabbed my laptop, opened a blank document, and began typing. Vision to create a supportive and efficient work environment. My heart raced with excitement. I wanted to help my team thrive. This could be my chance. As the weeks went on, I filled my plan with ideas on team collaboration and better communication. I envisioned weekly updates, feedback sessions, and more support for everyone. This is it, I said to myself. This is going to change everything. Then came my first meeting with Director Lewis. I was nervous but eager. I arranged to meet him at his office. When I walked in, he smiled warmly. Emily, it's good to see you. I'm glad you reached out, he said, motioning for me to sit. Thank you for meeting with me, Director Lewis, I replied, taking a deep breath. I've been thinking a lot about our team's situation. I've heard some concerns, he said, leaning in. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I pulled out my notes, trying to keep my hands steady. I believe we can improve our team's morale. I've created a business plan to support them better. It focuses on clear communication and trust building. He nodded, his eyes focused. Let's hear it. I shared my ideas passionately. I chose you to. We can have regular check-ins, celebrate team wins, and create an environment where everyone feels safe to share their thoughts. It'll boost everyone's motivation. That's interesting, he said, jotting down notes. What can I do to help make this happen? Your support is crucial. If you could encourage the team to engage in these activities, it would mean a lot, I replied, feeling hopeful. Over the next few weeks, we held more meetings. Each time, Director Lewis seemed more on board. Emily, I appreciate your initiative. Let's implement some of these ideas and see how they work, he said one afternoon. I couldn't believe it. My heart soared. Thank you, Director. That means so much. Back at home, I continued to connect with my team. I got on video calls, and it felt like they were right there with me. Emily, we miss you, Sarah said one day, her smile bright on the screen. I miss you all too, I said, laughing, but I'm working hard for you. Things are going to change. I could see the spark return in their faces. Week after week, our conversations grew deeper. Emily, I appreciate how you're guiding us, Mark said during one call. It really helps to know we're not alone. We're a team. We'll get through this, I replied, feeling the warmth of mutual trust growing stronger. As the days flew by, I prepared for my return to work. I could feel the excitement bubbling inside me, but also a twinge of fear. Would Mr. Harris still be difficult? I checked my notes again and again, making sure I was ready. You can do this, I whispered to myself. You have a plan. I reached out to Sarah one daring evening. Are you ready for my return? I am. We believe in you, Emily, she said confidently. I smiled, comforted by her words. Together, we can turn things around. That's the goal. The critical moment loomed closer. Every day, I thought about the plan I'd discussed with Director Lewis, the change that was about to unfold. I wanted to step into the office and show Mr. Harris that I wouldn't be pushed aside. I felt nervous, sure, but I also felt empowered. I had my team's trust, the director's support, and I was ready to fight for our future. It was time to put my plan into action. It was just a week before I was supposed to return to the office. I felt a mix of nerves and excitement churning in my stomach, but something was brewing among my team. I received a message from Sarah one afternoon that changed everything. Emily, can we talk? She texted nervously. Of course. What's up? I replied, sensing urgency. Meet me at the cafe down the street, she suggested. On my way. When I arrived, I spotted Sarah at a small table, her hands fidgeting with her coffee cup. I rushed over. What's going on? She looked up, her eyes serious. Emily, we've all been talking. We're considering leaving the team. What? Leaving? I echoed, feeling a wave of panic. Why? Things are just getting worse under Mr. Harris. The stress is too much, she admitted, looking around as if someone might overhear. We can't keep working in an environment like this. I felt my heart race. But where would you all go? We were thinking, if you're planning on starting something new, we'd like to join you, Sarah said, her voice trembling slightly. The room spun. You mean it? I whispered, surprised and filled with hope. Yes, she exclaimed. We trust you. We believe in your vision. Together, we can create a better workplace. I swallowed hard. This is a huge step for all of us. Are you sure? Absolutely, Sarah said with determination. It's time to take charge of our future. My mind raced. What if we did it? What if we left and started something new together? Okay, let's do this, I said, feeling the excitement bubble over, but we need a plan. Sarah's eyes gleamed. We can write our resignations and send them out together. Let's make it official. We'll stand up for ourselves, I said, feeling more confident, but we need a proxy to deliver those letters, just in case. The idea of being so bold gave me a thrill. We gathered the others that same day: Mark, Lisa, Anna, and Tom. The air was thick with anticipation. "Do we really want to do this?" Mark asked, sounding a bit hesitant. "It's time for a change. We deserve better," I said firmly. "If we stand united, we can make this happen." Everyone nodded in agreement. The energy in the room shifted. We started drafting our resignation letters, each of us pouring our feelings onto the page. I looked at the group as we crafted our messages. "This is it, everyone. We're taking a huge step," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Once sent, there's no turning back." As we finalized our letters, a sense of camaraderie filled the air. "We believe in you, Emily," Lisa said, smiling warmly. "We're in this together." With our letters prepared, we discussed who would deliver them. "Maybe we can ask Sarah's brother," Mark suggested. "He works in HR. He can hand them to the right people." "Perfect," I agreed, feeling a spark of hope light inside. The morning Sarah's brother was set to deliver our letters, nerves twisted in my stomach. "This is really happening," I said to the team in our group chat. "Just remember why we're doing this," Sarah replied, reinforcing our purpose. "We deserve to work somewhere we feel valued." Later that day, I received a text from Sarah. "It's done. He left the letters." My heart raced. What did they say? "Just that we're resigning. No drama, just facts. We're moving on to brighter opportunities," she replied. I felt a wave of relief wash over me, but underneath it all, a part of me remained anxious. "Now we wait," I said softly to myself. This was our chance. Together, we could create something new. My mind raced with possibilities. As our plan took shape, I felt excited for the future but nervous about how it would unfold. Would they really be supportive? Would we actually succeed? For the first time in weeks, I felt a spark of hope. Together, we were ready to embrace whatever came next. The morning after we sent our resignation letters, I woke up with a mix of excitement and dread. What will Mr. Harris think? I wondered. Later that day, I received a call from Sarah. "Emily, did you hear? Mr. Harris received the letters. He's furious." "Furious? How do you know?" I asked, my heart racing. "He stormed out of the meeting with Director Lewis," she said, her voice shaky. "I heard he was yelling." But my stomach dropped. This feels like a tornado brewing. As the day went on, I couldn't help but feel nervous. My team and I were ready to start fresh, but what would Mr. Harris do next? The phone rang again, and it was Director Lewis. "Hi, Emily. Can we talk?" "Of course, Director. What's going on?" "He just came to my office, and let's say he wasn't happy," he said, trying to keep his tone light. "But I stood up for you all. This decision wasn't personal, it was smart for everyone." I felt a rush of gratitude. "Thank you, Director. That means a lot. We're moving forward with launching your new firm together. We need to stay focused on our goals," he said confidently. "I'm excited," I replied, eagerness bubbling up inside me. "Let's create something amazing." After our call, I worked through the plan for our firm. I was full of ideas. We could build a company where people felt valued and empowered. That dream became clearer with each passing moment. Just as I was wrapping up, my phone buzzed. It was an email from Mr. Harris. My heart raced as I clicked it open. "Emily, I've received your resignation letter along with the others," he wrote. "I'd like to know if your actions were personal." My breath caught in my throat. How should I respond? Should I be angry? Should I explain? I stared at the screen, feeling a mix of emotions. "This isn't about me. It's about the whole team," I whispered. Taking a deep breath, I decided to be honest but professional. I carefully crafted my reply. Dear Mr. Harris, my actions were not personal. It was professional. You taught me that. With a shaking hand, I hit send. A wave of relief washed over me. Whatever came next, I had spoken my truth. Moments later, my phone buzzed again. I opened a message from Sarah. What did you say? I told him it was professional, I replied. He needed to hear it. That's brave, she said. How do you feel? I feel free, I admitted. It's like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Excitement filled the air as we continued our preparations for the launch. The more we talked about our new firm, the more real it became. We envisioned an office filled with laughter, creativity, and teamwork. But I couldn't shake the worry about Mr. Harris. Was he going to retaliate? Would he try to stop us? As if reading my mind, Sarah texted again. We'll stand together, right? No one can break our bond. Absolutely, I replied, feeling my heart swell. We're in this together, no matter what. In the days that followed, I felt overwhelmed but determined. Each meeting with Director Lewis added to my confidence. We'll make this work, he assured me. On the day of our firm's launch, I stood in front of a small group of enthusiastic supporters. This is just the beginning, I said. I took a deep breath. With my team by my side and the direction of Director Lewis, I felt ready for anything. Finally, there was light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't just about us anymore, it was about creating a legacy where everyone could thrive. We were ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. The day of our firm's launch finally arrived, and I was filled with excitement. My team and I gathered at our small, bright office. The walls were bare, but we had brought in plants and colorful posters that inspired creativity. Can you believe this is ours? Sarah said, bouncing on her toes with joy. I know, it feels amazing, I replied, trying to contain my excitement. We all gave each other high fives. Mark was busy setting up a banner that read, "Welcome to our new beginning." Doesn't it look great? He said, stepping back to admire our work. It looks better than I imagined. Lisa chimed in, her eyes shining bright. This place is going to be special. As the clock ticked closer to our launch time, my heart raced. I gathered the team for a quick huddle. All right, everyone. Today is just the beginning. We've got this, I said, trying to instill a spirit of teamwork. Let's make it memorable. Tom cheered. When our first clients arrived, I felt a rush of pride. We greeted them with smiles and showed them around. Welcome. We're so glad you're here, I said, my voice steady. Director Lewis walked in shortly after. Emily, congratulations. Everything looks fantastic, he said, beaming. Thank you. I couldn't have done this without my team, I replied. He nodded, his admiration clear. Your strategic thinking and leadership have made this happen. You've turned challenges into opportunities. My heart swelled at his praise. It's all about teamwork, Director. I believe in every one of us. As the day went on, laughter filled the office. Clients were impressed with our ideas and enthusiasm. We worked well together, and I could feel the trust we had built as a group. Later that evening, we celebrated. To new beginnings. I raised my glass, and everyone joined in. To new beginnings, they echoed, and the sound of cheers filled the room. But my thoughts drifted to Mr. Harris. I wondered how things were going at his company. I heard whispers from former colleagues who still worked there. Did you hear? Mr. Harris is struggling without you guys, Sarah said one day. Struggling? How? I asked, my curiosity piqued. He lost key projects. Everyone is unhappy, she replied. They miss your leadership and creativity. A mix of emotions washed over me. I felt sadness for my old team, but also a sense of empowerment. This just shows how important we were, I said quietly. As the weeks went by, our firm thrived. We secured more clients and developed innovative projects. Each success felt like a victory. One afternoon, I received another email from Director Lewis. "Emily, I want to meet to discuss future plans. You've proven to be an invaluable asset." My heart skipped a beat. "I'd love that," I responded eagerly. When we met, he looked serious. "I'm very impressed with how you've handled everything. Your ideas are exactly what this field needs," he said, his eyes brightening. "Thank you, Director. I couldn't have done this alone," I emphasized. "My team is everything." "I'd like to discuss expanding our operations," he continued. "We need fearless leaders like you." I thought about the journey. I had transformed my feelings of betrayal into something powerful. "This is just the beginning," I said confidently. As I left the meeting, I felt a strong sense of pride. I remembered how Mr. Harris's actions had pushed me to fight harder, but I also felt compassion. I hoped he would learn from this experience. Looking ahead, I felt optimistic for the future. Our firm represented more than just a new beginning. It was a symbol of resilience and courage. With my loyal team by my side, I was ready to embrace whatever came next. Together, we would build something beautiful. We were no longer just surviving, we were thriving. The world was ours to shape, and I couldn't wait to see what lay ahead. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever faced a tough situation that made you feel like giving up? How did you turn things around? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to read about your experiences. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring tales.